This is Colman Domingo, a double Oscar nominee and an Emmy Award winner. But beyond his Hollywood achievements, we've unfolded something even greater and unexpected about him. Yes, a surprising wrist game that most fans have completely missed. But don't worry, we're going through every watch in Colman Domingo's collection, so let's have a look. Starting us off at number 6 is the Omega De Ville Prestige, whose every detail commands attention. Colman wore the De Ville Prestige at the 2024 Oscars, and this masterpiece cemented his bold authority, and that's exactly why this watch matters. With its beautifully balanced 40mm case, polished profile, and refined dial design, the Prestige doesn't chase attention, it earns it. Everything about it feels intentional, with the slim bezel and the understated elegance, the kind of classic design language that speaks to patience, maturity, and confidence rather than trend chasing. Powered by Omega's precise coaxial movement, this wasn't just a dress watch, it was Colman signaling that his style was built on permanence, not hype. At a time when many stars lean on oversized statements or obvious flexes, the De Ville Prestige offered something rarer, and on Colman's wrist, restraint became power. With the market price hovering around $4,000 to $6,000, this watch wasn't about showing off wealth, it was about showing depth. Before the bold carpets, this was Colman making one thing clear: elegance would always be part of his story. But while the De Ville Prestige introduced us to Colman's quiet confidence, the next watch revealed what happens when that confidence steps fully into the spotlight. Coming in at number 5 is the watch nobody saw coming, and the one that said everything about how Colman Domingo sees himself. Colman wore it to the LA CMA Art and Film Gala, dressed in Gucci, looking every bit like a man who had all the time in the world and knew exactly what to do with it. And the Panthere was the perfect exclamation mark. Here is what you need to understand about this watch. The Panthere is not a typical men's watch. It never was. Born in 1983, it was designed around a square case with softly rounded corners, a silvered dial with black Roman numerals, blue sword-shaped hands, and that legendary bracelet. This bracelet includes 5 interlocking links that flow like liquid gold around the wrist, inspired by the movement of a panther in full stride. It's a jewelry watch, it's Cartier's most beautiful piece. And Colman Domingo wore it without a single moment of hesitation. That choice matters. In an industry where men on red carpets still play it safe most of the time, putting a Cartier Panthère on your wrist at a major gala is a statement. It says your confidence doesn't need anyone else's approval. It says you know exactly who you are. With a price tag sitting around $4,000, this is not the most expensive watch in his collection, but might be the boldest. And for a man like Colman, bold is a language he speaks fluently. Although breaking expectations is one thing, the next watch proves Colman really honors elegance on his wrist. Cracking the top 4 is arguably the most technically impressive watch Colman has ever been spotted wearing, and it's the IWC Portugieser Perpetual Calendar 44. The Oscar-nominated star was spotted wearing this masterpiece at the 2024 Met Gala. That single fact alone tells you a lot about the kind of collector Colman Domingo is becoming. The Met Gala is a fashion event. Most people wear watches that photograph well and nothing more. Colman showed up with one of the great complications in Swiss watchmaking. It's more wear-resistant and built to last not just years but lifetimes. And the Perpetual Calendar inside? This is the complication that separates serious watch collectors from everyone else. It tracks the date, the day, the month, the year in 4 digits, and the moon phase automatically. It knows leap years. It knows the difference between a 28-day February and a 31-day March. And it will not need correcting until the year 2100. At 44mm, the case is commanding. The obsidian black dial is deep, lacquered 15 times, and polished until it achieves a depth that looks almost liquid. Arabic numerals in warm red gold, subdials stacked with information, a power reserve display sits quietly at the top. This is a watch for someone who understands real luxury. With the market price sitting at around $45,000, this is worth every penny on Colman's wrist. And if the IWC is where Colman shows his technical depth, the next watch is where he shows his full class and persona. Taking the 3rd spot is the watch Colman wore on one of the most exclusive days of his life as a watch lover. Colman, who's also a playwright and director, visited Omega's home in Switzerland to explore watchmaking facilities, the place where it all happens, and he showed up wearing the 41mm Seamaster Aqua Terra in stainless steel with a lacquered turquoise dial. The turquoise dial is extraordinary, deep and layered, with that signature horizontal teak pattern that makes it completely unmistakable at 20 feet. Inside runs the coaxial master chronometer movement, which is certified by METAS, Switzerland's Federal Institute of Metrology. Cherry on top, it has water resistance up to 150 meters. A steel bracelet that wears like it was made specifically for his wrist, a watch that can go from a boardroom to a boat deck without blinking. Omega CEO Reynold Aschelman was there that day and said Colman's artistic vision mirrors Omega's own values. That's one craftsman recognizing another. And from that visit forward, the relationship between Colman Domingo and Omega stopped being a partnership and became something that looked a lot more like family. Now we're almost at the top, but the best is still to come, because the top 2 watches on our list are unlike anything else on this list. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because you don't want to miss what comes next. But if the Aqua Terra is where the relationship deepened, the next watch is where it caught fire completely. The runner-up spot belongs to a watch Colman has worn at one of the most defining nights in Hollywood history. At the 2025 Oscars, he wore the Speedmaster Moonwatch in 18-karat white Canopus Gold with baguette cut diamonds. Paired with a pale blue fringe crystal Valentino suit and Boucheron jewels, it was the single best wrist moment of that entire night. On top of that, it's wrapped in a level of luxury that matched his red Valentino tuxedo piece for a breathtaking piece. Now here's why the Speedmaster matters beyond how it looks. This is the watch that went to the moon, not metaphorically, actually, on the wrists of Apollo 11 astronauts in 1969. Used as a real-time instrument in the most extreme environment a human being had ever entered. That history doesn't disappear when you put diamonds on the bezel. It lives inside the 42mm case. It lives inside the hand-winding caliber 3861 with its 50-hour power reserve and its column wheel chronograph. Every version of the Speedmaster carries that weight, and Colman wears it at the biggest nights in entertainment, not because his stylist suggested it, because he's a genuine Speedmaster devotee. And just when the Moonwatch felt impossible to top, we revealed the final watch on this list that even fewer collectors ever get the chance to see. The number 1 watch that made the cut to our list is the Omega Speedmaster Speedy Reverse. It was an unreleased Omega Speedmaster at the time, crafted in full 18-karat Moonshine Gold worn by Colman Domingo at the 2025 Met Gala. This is not just a watch choice, this is a pure, bold statement. One of the most photographed nights in the world, Colman stepped onto the Met Gala carpet wearing a Speedmaster the public had officially not seen yet. No public launch, no boutique display, just Omega placing an extraordinary piece directly on his wrist before the rest of the world can catch up. That kind of moment is rare, and it instantly placed Colman in a different category. Built around the iconic 42mm Speedmaster case, this unreleased piece carried all the legendary DNA of Omega's most famous chronograph, but elevated it through Omega's exclusive Moonshine Gold. It's a richer and more subtly radiant gold alloy designed to hold its color and brilliance over time. The warm gold case paired with dial architecture and Speedmaster profile created the perfect collision of technical history and red carpet luxury. Inside, it was expected to carry Omega's elite coaxial master chronometer movement and series horological credibility. With a price tag sitting around $3,000, this was the moon landing legacy reimagined for haute couture. And somehow, Colman wore this unreleased masterpiece like it wasn't one of the rarest watches in the room, and it was. And that's it. From the quiet De Ville Prestige to the Cartier Panthère to the IWC Portugieser, Colman Domingo's collection is one of the most compelling wrist stories in Hollywood right now. Every single piece is a choice. Now, if this video earned your like, then stick around because our next video is on another A-list collection that's going to genuinely surprise you. See you there.